Hey, what's up homies? My name is Demi, and today I've decided to take a look at the match of Chevy versus Oreo, Samus, and Falco. It was played at EPG on the 9th of February. Now, this is an analysis of only Game 2. Chevy had won Game 1, and I will leave in the description a link to the whole set so you may watch it for yourself. In the description, I'll also leave timestamps to important places that I think were worth mentioning or really important to either player's ability to win. Now, as a small disclaimer, the analysis in this video is based solely on my views and my observations. You may disagree with me. If you do happen to have a different interpretation, please leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to take everything into consideration. Now, let's get into the match. Game 2, going to Yoshi's, Oreo's counter pick. Now, it's a classic counter pick for Falco, especially against a Samus that requires space. And the more space that a Samus controls, the more can be taken away from her, especially as the size of the stage decreases. It's difficult to manage so much space in a smaller stage as compared to a big stage like Dreamland or even Final Destination. So it's definitely in Oreo's favor as the Falco. Straight off the bat, right there, right here, where Oreo he did a platform fake out, where he fell through the platform and decided to jump, immediately threatening Chevy's space. He wave dashes back, and Oreo decides to come down with a dare, and it looks, in terms of trigonometry, it looks like he'll be coming down straight here to try and catch Chevy. But instead, he lands right on the platform, and Chevy does a reactive up tilt. Now, from that sequence, not much happened other than Chevy trying to take advantage of Oreo in state of being stuck on the platforms. Goes up there with an up air. But now they're down here in the center. They're down here in the center of the stage, backs to each other. What does Oreo do? Right there, a back air out of shield. Now, not the best execution being that close on Samus, because you do risk getting upbeat out of shield. You do risk that, and luckily for Oreo, Chevy doesn't take advantage of it, and Oreo is able to drift away and escape. If you don't drift that, and also you don't L cancel into shine or something, you're going to get upbeat, you're going to get the damage.
Right there, Oreo was doing some backers at a shield. Not too long ago on Reddit, somebody
and then obviously, I commentated the set, so I start talking about it.
Posted a safe method of doing back air out of...
Right there, Oreo, again, threatening Chevy's space as Samus. Oreo gets behind Samus and takes advantage of Chevy jumping out. It would have been better probably for Chevy to wave dash away or maybe just stay in shield because Oreo's back is turned to him. He can't grab him unless he does a shine grab. But instead, Oreo catches him with an up tilt. Which is, I mean, it's good reaction. It would have just been shield pressure. Probably safe shield pressure, depending on his spacing.
Shield, on shield. What we were seeing is that Oreo was doing the back air.
Right there, Chevy as a player, he's amazing at taking advantage of you being stuck on a platform. If you don't end up teching on a platform, he will go up there and typically he'll down smash you. And if he's unsure, he'll down air you. And if he's unsure, then he'll come up with a nair to cover multiple options. And so right there, he down aired and did a forward smash.
Oh, and a nice forward smash from Chevy.
Now Oreo has to recover. His choice of recovery was side B. And in this matchup of Spaceys versus Samus usually always takes advantage of that. A good Samus will take advantage of your height and preemptively usually shoot out a rocket, whether either knowing you'll side B or assuming you'll side B. And in this case, Chevy did send out the rocket and Oreo straight into it. That makes him lose a stock. But then at 50, Chevy also SDs, bringing it still down to an even game. And that's actually important to note for this game. Chevy SDing at a lower percent when he could have probably done some major damage on Oreo's third stock. Oh, sorry, his second stock.
Rocket right there, but also side what is it? Air dodging off the stage. What I was saying about the back air,
There's that pressure,
back air out of shield.
taking her space away.
Most people tend to just do it right on shield.
Right there was also it was very interesting that Oreo took advantage of Samus's up tilt, trying to come down before it lands. Or really, I think he was more of an attack directly on Chevy. But Chevy didn't react quickly enough, so he has this up tilt coming out, and Oreo, he's coming down with a dare, and by this time it's probably just a soft dare. And it causes Chevy to go into this tumble, which leads into a fantastic grab right there. Still at 0%, gets that soft dare, and now, it looks like it was a shield grab almost. Or maybe, yeah, it was probably a shield grab. Gets the grab on Samus. Fantastic execution.
But what somebody had actually lapped out
And right there, Samus coming on with an aerial is very. You'll see that frequently if you're trying to take advantage of Samus on the ledge, and you do something too early or whatever you end up doing, she'll take advantage of that. She has pretty big hitboxes, and right there, that was Oreo's. I guess not mistake. Tried to take advantage of Samus coming up, but she's invulnerable really in this state of her up B, and very difficult to hit her. You see, the Falco's foot really can't reach that far, and the move is already done before he even really gets to the stage. So right there, Chevy takes advantage of it with an aerial onto stage. Now, Chevy probably knows Samus better than I do, decides to use up air rather than nair. And I personally don't know the benefits of either aerial, of any Samus's aerials, so Chevy probably chose that because he knew that would have granted him the most freedom on stage. And then he uses jab to push Falco away, and then tries to get him with the down tilt. So in overall, that huge interaction right on the ledge is crucial in this. Is crucial in this matchup. You don't want to make yourself too vulnerable by trying to go for an edge guard, because Samus can really get back easily if she takes advantage of you doing something too early or even too late.
That if you do back air out of shield on somebody else's shield and you go above them rather than direct.
Now right there, Oreo actually managed to L cancel and shine.
Or spot dodge. It's just a much better.
And there we go. A grab right there from Chevy is very dangerous. From any Samus, really. They'll tend to up throw you, and because Oreo ended up landing perfectly on the platform, Samus can't really do much there if you tech it. Now they're both stuck on the platform, but it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous to be up thrown and not tech on a platform. You really don't want to be stuck on a platform with the Samus right above you. So the tech was actually crucial to avoid getting more percent. But now, stuck on the platform, Chevy decides to spot dodge, because as Samus, what are you really going to do other than try and read a jump out of shield? And when you have no platforms above you, you're as high as you can be, you're vulnerable. So he decides to spot dodge, but Oreo still catches him with the back air. It was a good back air by Oreo, and he actually drifts in with it. Manaki there in the back, trashing on melee. And as Samus, you don't want to get too aggressive. You don't want to purposefully lose space. Watching Chevy got a little bit ambitious right there, just a little bit, and ended up losing his stock because of it. goes for the nair on Oreo while he's on the platform, and it looks like I don't know if he texted or if he's just too low of percent to really do anything. Not too sure, but now Oreo is actionable, comes down with a back air, and Samus now at 149% is going to lose that stock, all because Oreo took advantage of Chevy being a little too ambitious with his moves.
Falling down with a back air.
Right there is the start of an amazing Samus setup that will get a lot of people. Chevy down smashed, goes into Nair for I don't know if it's a DI mix-up, but really just to send Oreo further off stage. And now he has to recover. Again, the preemptive rocket, if you look, he shot the rocket before Oreo could recover. Now, usually if it's Fox will probably recover a little bit lower because of the extended range of his up B. Here instead, the Falco player Oreo decided to up B right at the stage height. I'm pretty sure he could have gone a little lower and gotten the perfect side B right here. Could have gotten the perfect side B. But instead, takes a rocket straight to the face and loses that stock. And now it's an even game again. Just like the first stock that Oreo lost, put himself in the position to get rocketed and loses the stock.
While he's in his up B, in his Firebird. What's up, homie? Howdy.
And see, there's the control. There's the control of space. Where Oreo had tried to back air Samus. And leading up to that, he did back air. But leading up to that, afterwards, Chevy gets out of there and just wave dashes back.
We're watching a PR match.
Nice.
Oreo.
So yeah,
Chevy.
Oreo and Chevy. Yeah, Oreo was actually the first guy. Well, not the first guy.
That's another interesting setup, is using the rocket to cause Oreo into hit stun, but Oreo does some amazing tech and actually ends up wave dashing out of it, so he doesn't get grabbed, and then he can punish the missed grab. Also, right there on the platform, Chevy rolled in. He rolled in a little bit on the platform. Samus's roll is terrible, very terrible. What does Oreo do? Simply just nairs, takes advantage of it. Can't get too much off of it. Manages to shield and doesn't get punished too hard, but rolling in on a platform, especially above your opponent, as Samus, very dangerous.
Like a year ago.
And there's what I was talking about earlier, where Chevy, all he could really do is, in terms of getting out, he has to read Oreo's move and decided to up B out of shield. But Oreo stayed in shield.
He played. I didn't know who he was.
Didn't make the platform in time.
He played friendlies.
And
for like.
looked like another SD. Probably could have tethered, but okay, let's take another look. What happened there?
He played friendly.
It looks like he kind of tried to tether and air dodge at the same time and ended up losing that stock. So that's two stocks that Chevy SD'd this game.
I don't know how a good player can have the patience to do this. I was so mad.
Well, he probably practices against low level
I mean, the CPUs, yeah, like it was.
Now, right there, if you take a closer look, what does Oreo do? Downers. Now, I don't know. I think he used his tech. He used his tech or he missed it. And then he gets up tilted by Samus. Why is that important? He can't tech his fall. Very important. I don't know exactly if you lose a tech or if you miss a tech, but subsequently you have that time frame where you can't tech again. And Chevy taking advantage of that. I'm not sure if that's because of his own knowledge or just because he ended up tilting in response, is able to take advantage of now He gets another up tilt. Can't do too much of a punish because Falco's at a somewhat lower percent, and he manages to get out. But it's crucial to if you can spot that, if you can take advantage of them teching and then cause them to mistech and then read mistechs. I'm sure that if Chevy had actually
the CPUs, yeah, like it was basically the same
he probably wouldn't have up tilted again. He may have forward smashed if he was aware. But that's a huge thing to take into consideration. Saying huge a lot.
This guy, he's real cool. He's pretty good too. He told me I wasn't bad. That started my career.
And now Samus being on the last stock, Oreo being a little more aggressive, trying to force his way into Samus's space.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So.
And a lot of Samus's game is, wave dash away and retake more space.
I think Oreo's he's applying good pressure. He must be in order for like.
And there Tismatic is talking about pressure.
He's actually, what I've seen is that he's mixing up a sort of fast and slowed down pace.
See right there, that recovery that Samus, that Chevy had done was what he was attempting to do earlier.
He's actually, what I've seen is that he's mixing up a sort of fast and
Right here, gets the tether.
pace. He's mixing up his pace in that sometimes he'll.
And now this edge guard, he just does it a little too early. He does it just a tiny bit too early. And because of that, Tismatic mentions that the guy I'm co-commentating with at this point, that maybe the Shy Guy had messed it up, but in reality, Falco just a massive angle. And he misses the edge guard.
And Shy Guy fucked up that edge guard, but
Possibly.
yeah, that must be what he's doing. Something like he would.
And right there, I suppose Chevy was probably trying to go for a turnaround grab
Possibly.
or something else.
That must be what he's doing.
But what ended up happening is he grabbed in the other direction, and as any character, you gotta take advantage of the miss grab,
He would have
and a falling back air is gonna take his stock.
to vary his speed and do things differently. That was just a goof.
And that's game 2. As I mentioned, Chevy won game 1, so this does go to game 3 on Chevy's counter pick. If you'd like to watch that, like I said, I will leave the link to the VOD in the description. A few more notes. As Falco, you can punish roll with a down tilt. Or if the Samus, is waiting too long, you can punish it with a down tilt. And that's something you can look for in game 3. Also, if a Samus ends up ledge hopping with Falco, you can punish it with a back air. Samus is quite floaty, so her ledge hop leaves her fairly vulnerable. So send out a back air, get some more percent. To sum it up, Samus control space, wave dash back. The whole general purpose of her playstyle is to control the space around her and then execute. Falco, take the space away and do not enable her to take any more space. And that's a very elementary description of the matchup. But again, so many things to take note of just in this one game. And game 1 and 3 are also just filled with extra points and small little things that happen. And as I said earlier, the SD from Chevy may have lost him this game. He SD'd twice. And that would have created a more even game. He would have been able to rack on more percent onto Oreo. But what's done is done. Thank you for watching. If you have any other interpretations, please leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to incorporate it if it's useful into future analysis videos. For now, thank you for watching and have a nice day.